So I'm back again, just looking at how I'm going to get this stripe off. I tried a heat gun and a scalpel and managed to peel reasonable amounts of it away as I went. But it was very slow going, burnt my wrist, and it just felt like as it was getting more and more degraded, as you can see along here, that technique is not going to work. So I did some research and found out about these caramel wheels or toffee wheels. It's basically a rubber that, almost like an eraser, that you attach onto the drill, and you can use this to draw along and take these stripes off. I'm going to give it a go on this area over here that's really quite badly damaged. These wear down over time, so it'll be interesting to see how long this lasts for two sides of this boat. You know, probably done about a quarter down there versus what I've still got to go all the way around here, and then the whole other side. So I'm going to start on the small area, see how much it uses, and go from there. Alright, this appears to be working pretty well. As you can see, I've managed to do a reasonable amount of effort, a reasonable amount of work quite quickly. The way that it's working for me is to hold the drill, bring this plumb onto that there, and then move it down and drag off, and almost in a vertical way, drag off all of this as we go. So it pulls down and it tends to come off quite quickly. You can see there's some areas where if you don't get the alignment quite right, you can see how it does drag it off. And then you can come back and easily get that off, either with the eraser or just come along and remove it. We're not using up a huge amount of this. It's going down a little bit, but not massively. So I think we'll definitely get this side done pretty quickly, and then I'll go and start the other side. So I'll just give you an example of how I'm using it so that you can see. It's a little bit tricky to do with one hand, so it's a bit messy. If you hold it with two hands, you can hold the drill quite well along here and just slide it down and watch where you're getting it, and you can get all of these thin lines off in one go. It's not doing anything to the fiberglass, which is interesting to see. I've got this drill's on its high speed setting and I'm using it at full speed, but it's not a massively fast drill. These say that you shouldn't go more than 4,000 RPM. I don't think anywhere near that. There's nothing happening here in terms of, you know, doing anything to the fiberglass. In fact, it could do more given how much I've still got to cut off to get this to look something like this here. So broadly, these look like they work quite well on fiberglass. Well, it's funny how your technique changes. So I was using the battery powered drill and kind of using the blade rotating up and down on this. And that was working okay. I went through two batteries pretty quickly to the point where they obviously weren't charging quick enough for me to keep using them. So I've now switched to my hammer drill. This actually is probably working better. It can spin way faster, but interestingly it has a better torque at a very, very low setting. And so that's actually been what I'm using. You don't need much speed at all to really grab onto this vinyl and just pull it across and pull it off. So I'm applying a bit more pressure now and just going a bit slower. The action on that drill is also much longer, so you can get a better control over the speed. I'm also starting to use this like this and dragging it along, which, you know, for a lot of reasons would make a lot more sense. You're only getting contact on the vinyl. The thick piece of vinyl is still pretty tricky to do, but yeah, my technique's changed quite a lot. So I'm now finished one side completely. I'll show you that. Still needs a bit of cleaning up, but you know, basically it's done. I'll come back. I just didn't want to keep wasting the eraser on these little pieces if it wasn't going to last. But again, there's a lot of vinyl to get off, and you know, we've still got a lot left on this. I don't think I've even used a third of it or a half, so I think we're going to be fine to continue all the way down there using this new technique